Discussion action of minutes from the June 20, 2018.
I move that we approve the minutes. The June 20th, 2018 meeting.
Motion to approve. We have a second.
Juanita,
Aye.
Charles,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Norman.
Discussion and action on the June financial report, which we did not approve. Due to some items that Jody, I would assume, brought to.
Yes, since we didn't have our July meeting.
So is there a June financial report or is there just the one?
There's a June one. Yeah.
But not the breakdown?
There's just the breakdown for the July one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I meant.
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess we will vote on them each separate, and first off, are there any questions on the June one? If there are no questions on the June one, I would entertain a motion to approve it. Motion,
Second?
second.
Connor,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Juanita,
Aye.
Charles, no.
Aye. Next one will be the July financial report.
Okay.
Jody, you want to tell us about that?
Yes. Starting off, we have $614,562.34, $1,000 to the promotional video, $4,000 to the Alva Chamber of Commerce Northwest Oklahoma Visitor Center, $26,300 to the Big Cruise and Car Show, $6,919.35 to the Wings Over the Prairie Air Race Classic, $6,000 to the Northwest Oklahoma Junior Rodeo Association, $2,500 for advertising and promotion committee, $5,000 to the 22nd annual NWSU football golf tournament, $3,750 to the Alva's Crazy Cool Boulevard Cruise, $20,000 to the Alva Rotary Club 4th of July Spectacular, $6,000 to the Nessatunga Golf Tournament, $4,500 to the Alva's annual Impossible Obstacle Course Race, $2,920 to the Alva High School Baseball Tournament, $500 for future, $2,500 for standing, which leaves us with $522,672.99. So, there's been a couple things that have been paid. The rodeo and the advertising and promotions committee, and then the NWSU football golf tournament, and Norval's going to sign the Rotary one today for me.
The Rotary one, you said?
Yes.
And those come out to the same amounts that they asked for?
The Rotary came out to like less $1,000 difference.
So 19?
Yeah, 19 something, yeah. But all the other ones came out to the same amount.
Okay.
looks like we got our June 30th payments in on the hotels except for Hotel 5. And right now we're about 17% down with it. We would be 15 to 16% down.
Down more though.
Than the year before.
Quarter from last year and this year.
Right. The quarters are different. I was just looking at the total year. It's probably 15 to 16% when when its payment hits.
Actually, quarter to quarter, this one's taking the biggest hit this quarter
Yes.
by far. Percentage-wise.
Yes, it has. But it does not have, like I said, it does not have
Has that come in?
Hotel
yet, or do
5
you
in.
know?
I
in
don't
yet.
know,
You know,
but I can ask.
So. So if it was in there, then actually, the first September quarter would have taken the biggest hit.
You've been downhill all the way from the September quarter.
Right, exactly.
It was like,
As our local hotel person, how's it looking in the hotel business?
Not very good. So, it's a cutthroat world out there. Do what you can, trying to get them in. And then, of course, the Alva Motel opened back up, so it's being ran better, which is good for the community, but not good for us, so. It's just not very busy right now. Keep thinking, you'll get busy and then it slows right back down.
Because sometimes it seems like there's a lot of vehicles at the hotels.
Yeah, but when you're getting, 70% the price you used to get, less, the monthlies, and so it's just, you do whatever you can to make a deal to get them in, so. Everybody owns business, gotta do what you gotta do. So sometimes when it looks busy, it is busy, but you might be getting half the money in. And that's all the motels, because they make a deal, so you gotta make a deal too. Well, they told me they would, so. Isn't that out there? It's not like Walmart where you go in, you're gonna pay $2.75 for a bleach every time.
Are there still quite a few oil field people coming in?
Not that many. Now, if you go down by Kingfisher, there's a ton. The hotels are all full.
Even Fairview.
Yeah, even in Fairview as well.
Hmm.
And that's kind of how it started before, is it started south and worked its way
Trickled up
north.
there.
But if you read the oil news, it's not good. They're not making what they're supposed to be making, and they're strung out as well. It's kind of all of that. This one.
When did you see things start to drop with them staying overnight here?
Oh, that's been what? 2016? So all of 2016 and 2017.
But I know it picked back up a little
2018 is
bit.
even a bit slower than 2017. So, but you can't rely just on the oil field, so you
Yeah.
rely on everybody else. It's short harvest this year. So, harvest is usually a couple weeks, and it was like 5 days. So. It'll get better.
I move to approve the July.
We have a motion to approve July financial reports.
Second.
Second.
Paula? Juanita?
Aye.
Charles? Terry? Norfolk?
Aye. Next is discussion and action on Friends of the Fair not to exceed $7,520.
Hello,
Hello.
will you step up here?
Absolutely.
How are you?
Good.
Good. A few of us from the Woods County Fair Board and our fairgrounds manager just came to see if there was any questions or comments or anything.
First of all, I'll pick up, I really find this hard to look at because I really don't think it qualifies as a tourism type thing.
Okay.
It's a real stretch. We're looking at if it was a fair that involved Major County and Alva County and Harper County, then I could see we're pulling people in. But Woods County, this is just Woods County deal. But I think in that respect, and as far as hotels and things, and then you'll have the food out there, so what happens in town is probably not a whole lot. I mean, the people won't do anyway in Alva. I mean, it's not like they're bringing in new business or would be.
Okay.
Pardon me?
No, I mean, I understand that. It was brought to our attention, to maybe try this avenue. And of course, it's all, I guess I'm going to speak for everybody else. This is new to us.
Yeah.
But I do see your point.
I just visited with the lady that volunteers at the secondhand store in Kiowa. I don't know whether y'all are aware of that at all. $4,000 to $5,000 a month that they go in, and that's how they support things like this that really don't, not a tourism type thing.
Right.
It's a local, things are the local scouts and the local whatever, what I mean.
Only thing that I'd have to put towards that is if we do extend our fair and make it bigger, and if our entertainment gets bigger, we will eventually bring people from outside of Woods County. So if our concerts right now, they're small, but in the future we'd like to make those larger. With that, people are going to come to see that entertainment. So just like with the Southwest Country Fest that's coming up, we would eventually like to get well-named people to come play at our fair. And with that, we also will be bringing more to the community. And with that, it also takes a little extra help than what we can do ourselves. So as of right now, I do understand your point, but in order us to gain to that point, that's part of the reason also why we're asking for your help also.
Well, they've had entertainment, you're talking about a band?
Yes, sir.
coming in? I don't recall that being a big draw for the fair as far as people that would go watch a livestock show or the merchants exhibits, That was a night thing, probably didn't attract the best.
As of right now, you're correct. Yes, you're 100% right. But we're also getting people that are just starting. Now, when I originally went and visited with Jody about getting this started, I was wanting to ask for $25,000 for our entertainment, for our concerts. And that is going towards somebody like a Jason Aldean or a Martina McBride or something like that. Because somebody that well named, that's going to take $25,000 to $50,000 to get them here. But then in return, at the gates, we can set a fee at the gate. And if you look at like the Enid Event Center and your Oklahoma City centers, the people, when they get those kind of people there, if you think about it, a lot of people from Alva, this area of the state, venture down to those other towns to see somebody like that. And with me starting in as a manager there at the Woods County Fair and the Woods County Fairgrounds, I want to help build what's for also for the future. And in order to be able to do that, we have to start with what we have. And bringing that right now, we don't have the funds to get the bigger people. But if we get the bigger people, we can give more back to the town.
And maybe on the other side of that, I don't know whether I'm speaking out of turn here, but did anybody go to the Barber County Fair? Nobody in here went to Barber County Fair? There's an awful lot of people from Alva at the Barber County Fair. I mean, I'm not gonna say that you're drawing from 10 counties to come to the Woods County Fair, guys. That's a stretch. But you're looking at, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars of livestock going to be at a fair. And you are going to draw a few people from outside the area. And I know it's not big, and but the amount, you know, that, and I'm new. I'm going to tell you guys, I went to my first fair board meeting last night. So from the outside looking in, it's a unique opportunity, and I didn't know a whole lot about, you know, how the things were funded. But fair is a big part of the community, and it has been for a numerous amount of years. They're built over time, and the better they are, the more attractive they are. The Woodward Event Center is hosting a they're calling it a fall fair this next weekend that's outside of their county fair. And right now I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of people there. They sanctioned a new event for that, and I think it's going to be pretty large. So, I mean, a little bit to what Brock was saying, you know, you got to have a starting point somewhere. And I mean, there were hundreds of Alva people that were at the Barber County Fair, at the rodeo, and everything else that was going on up there. I saw quite a few people and I just walked through to see what was there. I mean, is it a huge draw? No. You can get a few outside people. Yeah, there's going to be parents, grandparents, you know, aunts, uncles that are going to come watch that. And I mean, for every dollar they spend, it's a good opportunity that they're going to come back if things are done correctly. If we let it go on the downhill side, I do believe it could be you know, if we don't have it funded properly or something like that, I do believe that the opportunity for it to dissipate could be great. So, and we're in, from my side of it, we're in foreign territory to know what we're doing here for sure, because we've never been without the funds, and trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do for the week after Labor Day is you know, times of the essence right now, and making sure we do the right things, and that we do attract people to the community and take care of the community itself. So I hope I didn't speak out to her. That's just kind of my thoughts.
Not at all. That's what you guys are here to do.
Do they know our situation, like what has happened, why we don't have the funding this year?
No, I do not believe so.
Okay, so normally in the past, and Brock, jump in here, correct me if I'm wrong. So normally in the past, we have had money from that was in an account from, you know, that ran through Woods County, county commissioners, things like that. Well, with an audit that's just been done, they basically said you can no longer use that money for any kind of entertainment purposes. So like our free feed that we used to do, that is out. The kids' bouncy houses that we used to have, that is out. The concerts that we used to have, that is out. All of that stuff is gone. So basically we're going to have a livestock show and vendors at the Merchants Building, if we don't find any kind of other funding avenue. And so so someone suggested this, and that's why we put in the application and came here, just trying to figure out other avenues. Eventually, we do want this to grow. We want to bring in bigger concerts. We want to bring the carnival back, things like that. So just a little background there as to why all of a sudden we're here, just exploring avenues for some other funding. So.
So I know that the commissioners have a amount that they spend on the fair, or they did, used to anyway. So what will that money that they can no longer spend on this, what will that money go to?
So the amount that you're probably speaking about is a set amount that is set towards premiums and awards. Every year, the commissioners give out a set amount that goes towards the fair. And that is only set for our premiums awards, our judges and superintendents. with the audits, that is the only thing that we are allowed to spend that money on. And that's when we go back to what Brooks said, we cannot use that money towards entertainment purposes. So that's how we lose our bounce houses, entertainment, concerts, so on and so forth. So that 20,000 only can go back to the kids and to what makes the normal fair go on. Anything extra has to come from the fair board. And I know it's
Also
confusing.
Pay the manager's salary,
Say what?
pay the manager's salary out there.
Yeah, the county pays for my salary, yes.
Yeah.
But that's a separate deal out of that set amount, yes.
What kind of entertainment did you have last year?
Last year, we had the bounce houses, that cost us $5,000. We had the trackless train, that cost us $200 plus a donation jar. But that didn't work out for him, the donation jar didn't. So our original goal before that was a $300, so we just paid him $200 last year. Then we had a concert last year, which we had a really good turnout. A lot better than the previous years. If you guys follow us on Facebook, that was on there. We had Alaska and Maddie, they were on The Voice. And that cost us $2,500 to do that. And then we also had our free feed beside the point of that. So that's what other things we had for entertainment. And the trackless train and that concert, I mean, it seemed like it drew a crowd, you know. But the kids is what our fair is mainly about, you know, and eventually we want to get up to the millennials and the adults. So that's why we've just been doing the bounce houses. But I mean, just alone the bounce houses, that's $5,000. That's including a jump house. That's including a the trampolines, a dunk tank, and then also a deal where they can go through and do different obstacles.
And rock wall.
And well, no, we didn't have rock wall last year. So, I mean, that alone, that's a lot, you know. So,
And all that was free to the kids, but I mean, that was all,
no
that was the
cost.
purpose. The kids could play on that, you know, by the time they got out of school and wanted to go out there and spend their time at the fair and have that opportunity. So that was kind of I thought it was a neat deal last year from the outside.
So on short notice like this, what kind of entertainment will you be able to get?
I've already got the bounce houses spoken for, pending on funding. Discussed that with them. Trackless train, I've already got that arranged, depending on funding. I did have a concert in line, depending on funding, but that guy got booked. But I've already been speaking with my agent that helps me get the concerts in line, which is called a company called Triangle Talent. I reached that through some of my sources I have from up home. And I've spoke with their manager already today, and he said they are going to be looking for somebody that I can get for the $3,000 that we've asked for or less. And they've been pretty good to me. That's who helped me get our concert last year. And I've also been working with Austin Graves with 97.5 The Quake. He's also been looking for me. And we still have a plan to do it, and I believe that we can.
So who's the concert, say, directed towards what age group? I mean, is this the bouncy things and all that stuff, is that open and functioning while the concert's going on, or is this just during the day, or?
Our bounce houses usually run from 4 to 9 p.m. And then our concert starts at either 5 or 6. 7 p.m. So, and it's right next to where the kids are. So the parents can stand there and enjoy the concert while the kids are playing. So it's really directed at all individuals. I mean, we're not asking for no rock band or anything like that, or heavy metal. It's red dirt or country music, something that is directly to a family deal, so that we can help everybody in Alva area and surrounding communities.
So would that be on Friday or Saturday night?
their goal is to put it on Saturday night and put it in the Merchants Building. We have changed our times for the Merchants Building. The Merchants Building will open at 8 a.m. now on Saturdays and close at noon. And the Merchants will have everything cleaned out by 2 p.m. We will go in the Merchants Building, tear everything down, and set the concert up in there, because that's what they did for the college rodeo last year, and it worked really well when we had Reed South Hall there. And then that way we can manage who's going in and who's going out, so on and so forth.
Have you located a band yet?
As I just said, I've been speaking with my agents that are trying to help me get that, because the band that I did have, if we could have had this meeting a couple weeks ago and known that we could do this, I could have had it. But I just spoke with Austin Graves up there in Kiowa. He said that guy was booked for September 8th. So I've been speaking with that agent with Triangle Talent, and they are working on it as of right now. So I've got it in the works. It just, with a short time, it's hard to do, but like I said, I believe that we can do it.
And we just found out about the funding deal like June.
Mhm.
So literally, we've had like 2 months to try and
And
salvage the fair.
For funding?
say what, I'm sorry?
Who else have you approached for funding?
We have got a few donations, just from businesses in the public. Anything else, Rob?
We've received that couple of donations, and that's it. Because with the time frame that we've had, and we've been, just like Brooke just said, we were just being told that we can ask for different funding, and we had, with the aspects of how we're having to go through it, that's why we're coming to you guys, because we're trying to not overstep too many boundaries on the first year with such a short amount of time. We feel like, you guys speak up, but I feel like we're asking you guys, because that would be a lot easier in a short amount of time, because we know that we want to help Alva out. We want to make things better for Alva. We want to add to Alva. We want to bring things into Alva, just like as this organization does. And that's why, if we could work together, we can make something a lot bigger than what we had in the past. And I know it's dwindled, but where I'm from, I'm originally from Iowa, and we have large county fairs there. We know what a county fair is, and I feel like I have a lot to add to that, and this community deserves that.
Did Hartner, you went to the Hartner, or the Hartner County Fair?
Steve
yourself?
did.
I did.
There were hundreds of Alva people up there?
At the I mean, you guys go up there to the rodeo. They had, they have also a demolition derby, and I mean, they have lots of different things. And I mean, it's a PRCA sanctioned rodeo. I believe they had a concert.
Did they have a concert?
Yeah.
We did after the rodeo.
So,
I was there.
I mean, I know there are an awful lot of high school kids. I can tell you that for sure. Lots of parents. That parking lot was completely packed, and if you guys been to Hartner and Kiowa, it takes a lot of cars out of Hartner and Kiowa to pack the parking lot. So I mean, I parked like way down the road just to get in, so I could just go. I was going to go look at some of the cattle that were there, and I had to park like right as you come in that entrance to the Barber County Fair, and I thought, those didn't all come out of that little area up there. I wouldn't think. And then I know my kids went, and lots of their friends went, and when I walked up through there, I saw more people from Alva than I saw from, Hartner and Kiowa area, and I'm fairly familiar with those folks too. I farm up in that area, and big event. Now, again, they had a PRCA sanctioned rodeo there too, and I know that's a huge draw as well. But the concert was big, and I think they had it in the arena area, and we're at the start of the college year and things like that. The draw is probably large for if had a decent band, so that get a lot of interest from kids at the university and parents or something that's right there at the first when college starts as well. So I think that's an opportunity, football games, things like that. Be in the area for that. Might be interested in coming and enjoying an evening at the fair as well. So, and that's just my 2 cents, guys. And that's being there. Hartner's pretty big fair for a town that has 1,000 people or less, you know. So I thought that was pretty interesting, something that would be a scope for us to look into, because we should have a better opportunity than they would. So, that's just my opinion of looking at the two.
So you said you were gonna put it in the merchants building so you control people coming in and out. I mean, are you charging people to come in and out?
Well, that's a discussion that we still have not went over yet. I believe that was our original plan, right?
Yeah, just to recoup some funding.
Mhm. To try to make our build for next year also.
But it has not been voted on and completely, yeah, so.
Do anybody have a clue how Barber County's, supports or sponsors their fair? And who's funding it?
Chieftain Oil sponsors a major portion of it, I can tell you. Chieftain Oil.
Okay.
So, I mean, privately funded. I can tell you the livestock program's privately funded. I do know that for sure. The Achenbaugh family, privately funded. I mean, so I know those two are big contributors towards the fair. So to tell you, I'm not on the board or anything like that. I went to the fair, so that's all the closer I've been to that. So I really couldn't give you a exact synopsis. I know those do for the livestock funding and things like that, as well as the opportunity like we do here in Woods County, but those are external funding and donations from
The
those two
rodeo and
guys.
stuff, yeah, it was an admission, you had to pay to get in. But I think that also included the concert, because I don't think there was a separate admission.
Well, you could go through the signs around the arena that there's lots of sponsorships. I mean, I can't remember what the signs all said. I'd hate to tell you without being accurate. But there are lots of people that buy sponsorship signs that travel around that arena as well. So that's another private funded type situation.
And I think as a board, that's where we would like to be, for future, kind of regroup and, look at the big picture and see what we can do, maybe offering banners to hang during, the livestock show, or, the concert, and maybe provide an individual or a business, for $500, we'll give you, we'll include a banner we can hang. They get a little bit of something, a little advertisement. We get a little bit of money also to help fund this. Circumstances are, it's not going to happen that way this year. But that's kind of our end goal, is, I guess somewhat be back to self-sufficient, if you will, on donations from the county, from the community. Time frame's just not allowing that at this point.
So basically, you've done nothing this year to help fund the fair.
Well, that's because
No,
our
yeah,
original
I mean-
funding was taken away from us.
Yeah, but I'm just saying
Yes.
something above and beyond what was a giveaway deal. We're not doing anything to get beyond that.
Not of ours right now, because our funding was just taken away 2 months ago, or if that.
July 1st.
Yeah, July 1. So as of July 1, it's hard to get a lot of things done in a short amount of time.
I think I appreciate that you're asking for the money, it's for a good cause, but I think it totally gets away from our mission of bringing people to town. And I mean, it's not what I understand that our board is for. I think this is something more for like share, it's a community event that brings people together from the community, and I just don't think we can do that, because if we do it for you, we have to do it for you know, the next person, and then there's, you know, then we have to sponsor this, and I just, like I said, I think it's important, and I hope you're able to find the money, but I don't think it's what we're supposed to, I just don't think it's what we're supposed to do, and I think, you know, people would look at us going, why are you doing that? So, that's how I feel.
We just had a fly-in, you know, it was a, I don't know what you were wearing.
Yeah, we provided the bleachers and the tables and chairs for that event.
Pretty big deal. That's the kind of things we're looking for, something new, something that puts us on the map. You know, that kind of thing helps somebody get started. You're already started, it's kind of like the country club, they didn't adjust their fees, you know. You can raise money by charging for the band or, you know, for the concert, whatever. But I think after talking to this gal, that's something we need as a secondhand store, and that should be something Friends of the Fair and Friends of whoever, you know, that's a local mission, if you will, you know, all worthy of things. But tourism, we're hoping to bring in lots of people, put them in, you know, the motels, you know, and that kind of thing. And be eating in the other areas, you know, of town rather than out at the fairgrounds. So it looks to me like that's, you know, pretty much it's all right out there.
Connor?
I just want to put one thing out there. When our bands do come, they usually have 10 to a dozen people on their crews, and they do require hotel rooms. So with the bands, if we can make our fair bigger and better, same with the carnivals. Not all carnivals have motorhomes and everything like that. We will be putting people up in your hotels. So, I mean, just like last year, they did if we would have had our 2-day concert, they would have asked for 6 rooms at our hotels. So, I mean, again, with the bigger concerts and the bigger carnivals, they will accommodate to our hotels and things in town. Because the people that do go to fairs, these people that do put these concerts on, that do perform at them, that do put these carnivals on, they don't want to eat at the same thing all the time. They will be in town. They will be going to our community places. So, I mean, as of this year, yeah, it's going to be a little tight. But, I mean, in our future, that's what we want, is to be able to get there.
Yeah, I think a carnival, you get a really good carnival, then you are back into your realm of bringing people into Alva
Tourism, yes.
pretty quick.
Not just,
And then I'd heard that they got so expensive that, you know, to bring them in anymore. Carnival.
Carnival that I've spoken with is a $10,000 guarantee. That's as of last year.
Yeah, I did a lot of research on carnivals at one point, because we looked at bringing them in for the car show. And we could have gotten one, and they actually, I looked long enough, we could have gotten one that would actually have paid us a percentage to come in. We just couldn't find the area in downtown Alva to hold the carnival and the car show. And that was the problem. They take a lot of square footage to do it, and it couldn't, I mean, but it's something that has a large crowd there, then they're excited about coming. And, you know.
and that would be something new and different also that we haven't had.
I mean, and
so.
I think that
And
the
that's
fair
what we're trying to
could,
get.
you know, show them possibly, if they have the proper research and demographics, that we can bring some people, you know, that they can bring people to it, you know, with the college and things like that. I mean, I do think the carnival would really do well out there. It did, as Dr. Tucker knows, it did when we were much younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Attraction.
County, right, Indiana County.
I don't know, any other possible avenues to look at, just, I mean, in a tough spot, I don't know if anybody had revenue, but I mean, yeah, you can charge money at the gate and all that, but I don't know. If there is anything else, anybody can, I mean, it is a tough spot, but I mean, it doesn't fit our criteria. I mean, it just doesn't, but I mean, so I don't know.
Only thing I'm just thinking more donations, but it's short time. I know there's not that much time here, so.
The purpose of a fair, because I've done fairs all my life, started out 4-H, probably like you have, all the way through.
Yep.
And it was always livestock shows and merchants.
And
That, that's the fair, and then all this other stuff is things, to me, I don't know that that makes the fair any better. The people that come to a lot of that stuff, the concert stuff, are not people that are gonna be coming to the fair. I may be wrong, but that's.
I mean, just speaking from, like I said, where I'm from, and I know where I'm from is different from here, but where I'm from, our whole county looked forward to our concerts, our demolition derbies, our tractor pulls, everything like that we had. And within 20 miles of where our county fair was, we had large county fairs, large.
Those
And
kind of things draw a different crowd and a lot more people. People come in from a distance. And this thing, you're not, unless we get hundreds from Barber County, like you're saying, our people went up there.
But they're still not gonna spend the night, they're still not
No, they're
gonna
gonna spend the night or do anything.
hotel, eat
but
the
if
restaurant.
eventually we get to the bigger carnivals, the concerts, I mean, if your fair is big, kids see that. Okay, I don't want to speak for anybody's kids or anything like that, but if you see a lot of kids, and nowadays, they're all playing their video games, they're all on their phones, they're all doing this, they're all doing that. If you think about it, back when we were all kids, when we had a carnival and we had concerts, things like that to go to, how often were we on our phones? How often were we sitting behind a computer or a TV playing video games? So, with your help, we can get that back. Yeah, this year it's short notice. But if you guys can help us 1 year get started, then that helps us build for the next year. And then we keep building. We keep building. Rome was not built in a day. But eventually maybe we can change the minds of the young individuals that we raise so they're not always on their phones. They're not always getting into mischief. They're not doing this or doing that. And the fair, once a year, that gives those kids something to work towards every year. They see their friend going out and showing a steer or showing a pig or showing a sheep or a goat out there. And they see how many people that want to go to that fair and see this and see that. These other kids are going to want to do the same things. And that gets them away from all the other bad habits that they possibly may have. But it takes something bigger, and it takes time to get to there to be able to help change the minds of those individuals too. Because when I was a kid, when I showed all the time, I spent all year working with my animals and doing this and doing that. I didn't have time to play video games. I didn't have time to be on my phone. That's what I look forward to every year, was spending with my friends, taking your girlfriend out on the Ferris wheel, those kind of things, That's what made memories. That's what, as us as adults, tell our kids stories about. If you can look back to those times. And that's what,
Let's say, for instance, you had this concert and you charge $10 per person for that. How many people do you anticipate might attend a concert?
I've never done a click on it, but usually with the feed and stuff that we have, I would say we almost get almost 500 people to 1,000, right? You guys think?
With the free feed.
With the free
With
feed,
the free
probably.
feed, probably.
But
That was a free concert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you start charging admission, who knows? I mean, you've lived here, all of you've lived here a long time, you know what free means in Alva, they come out of the woodwork. And there's a lot of people, and I'm using Alva, but I mean the county, that come. And, you know, our whole fair's been basically turned upside down and shook up and thrown away. I mean, we've had to revamp on how we handle the kitchen even. Right now, there is no kitchen. So I don't really agree with the whole restaurant eating out, because if we don't have a kitchen, yeah, they're going to support the local restaurants. I think they do anyway. You know the size of our kitchen. The locals,
That
if
kitchen
you...
out there, Kevin, that kitchen serves 2,000 people on what is it, your chicken noodle dinner?
That's
Right.
a
That's
No,
the
that's the
merchant's
merchant building, that ain't even the kitchen.
kitchen serves
But I
about
mean, they
40.
can serve it out of there, you don't have to make it all there.
Well, I got an 8 and a 4-year-old. I'm not waiting in line there. You can't stand. There's nowhere to sit.
There's probably occupancy for 40 people in the
Yeah.
kitchen area.
Yes.
So, I mean,
And you do have your staples, the people that look forward to it every year, and they're going to go sit in that kitchen for 3 hours and drink their coffee and eat a piece of pie. And that's great. That's what it's about. But for a family,
But that's not gonna happen this year, you know what I mean?
well, we
Not
don't
right
have
now.
any, we had to send it out for bids, so we open bids next week. As of now, we don't have any turned in. So, yes, I do strongly agree with your hotel motel, 100%. But the livestock exhibitors alone that come to Alva, to the Woods County Fairgrounds, do not eat in that kitchen 3 square meals a day. And they're here for 2.5 days taking care of their livestock. We don't release livestock till Saturday at noon.
Correct.
and any supplies that are bought for that are bought in, are bought in
Yeah.
Alva. I mean,
Northwest Feed, Foots Farm Supply, Alva Vet Supply, I mean,
Atwoods.
Atwoods. There's gonna be money spent. I'm not gonna sit here and say there's gonna be more money spent in 2.5 days because of the Woods County Fair, because I don't know. But your countywide people from Freedom, Winoka, the actual towns, Tacoma, I mean, they come here. Most of them are probably coming here to the store to, anyway, but they're here for 2.5 days. They're not just running to Walmart and running home. They're gonna buy fuel to pull that stock trailer back home. They're gonna eat, regardless of if we have a kitchen or not, for a lot of the reasons I so stated. People don't like to wait in a line. People don't like to not get to sit with the rest of their family if you have 1 chair here and 2 chairs down there. And, it may seem petty, but, we've seen it. The kitchen it's a staple, but it's not very user-friendly. So, like I say, I totally agree with your hotel, motel, but I think we would all be a little bit surprised of maybe as far as the restaurants and maybe feed and supplies, and maybe not, but I think we all would be.
I can't tell you how many Sonic and McDonald's and other vendors around town that I pick up. I am the one that cleans up after the fair and after the shows. I can show you thousands of trash bags that I pick up of things that are spent around town.
Well, we understand, you guys have got a bad, kind of a bad rap here all of a sudden with losing your funding on what you had. And this board's been pretty good about trying to help people, get events going. I kind of add up your advertising. You have $1,220 in advertising, we love advertising Alva on this committee. I mean, it's kind of one of the things, you know, whatever we do, advertising, we think to a degree helps the community. You know, it's just if there isn't you know, if there's an amount the committee feels that they want to give off one of these things, we can do that, or we can, we'll, at this point, let anybody make a motion on anything, or we will wait our 5 minutes, and if no motions are made, we'll move on.
So if we don't fund this, you're not gonna advertise anything? Is that in the paper for local people? You have no money for advertising, you have no money for,
We can send out some advertising, yes, through what we call our general, through that, you know, appropriated amount, basically we have.
But very minimal.
But very minimal. We're gonna advertise the Woods County Free Fair with what we have, what we're gonna have there. Yes, but to really hit it off with other events, then, you know, yes, we would advertise even more.
I think you've got big dreams, and I think that's good, you know, talking about what your goals are. Our annual income now, compared to what it used to be, is off 75% or so. So we're not gonna be funding $50,000. You're gonna have to figure out something, and you gotta start somewhere.
I understand that.
And sometimes, you know, it's just like when we had the Alva Market, and it closed, and we didn't have any choice but Walmart or a grocery store. We had to lose it before we got the community behind something, you know. And that's why I'm saying, you know, looking for things that, you know, you could do a lot with 40, 50,000. You can accomplish your dreams. There's no way, unless we have another oil boom, that, you know, that's, you're talking about right now, you're talking about taking a third of our quarterly tax revenue for just this one event, you know, and we have multiple options to, you know.
Our goal is, and in the future, is to collect the donations. I'm speaking for the board, but our goal is not to ask for the full 50,000 from you all. We're just wanting help from you all to be able to make those dreams possible. I understand that we need to go talk to Cher. I understand we need to go talk to a lot of the people. Actually, one of the people that did donate to us is a part of Cher already, which he just gave us a little bit just to get started. So we do have the support throughout the town, but we want to include you all too, because it's going to benefit somebody else that could be in our position in the future. Because if we can bring the larger concerts, the carnival, and more people to show and everything like that, them hotels and motels and our restaurants in town will be used. So my goal is, as the manager out there, and also I would think with the board also, come October after our fair, we're gonna, if we can get everything in line, we're gonna start asking for donations then. Because we would have started asking for donations a long time ago if we known our funding was gonna be cut off. You know what I'm saying? It's just, in a short amount of time, it's very difficult. Because even if we could just get, in the future, if we could just get help with the carnivals, and if some way, somehow, we can get the amount of funding and the donations for our concerts and stuff, that's what we'd like to do. I know we can't do it all on our own, but we're going to try. But we also need some help. Anything to add? And I understand you guys may not want to give the full amount, but I don't want to take away from the kids in Alva. So if we take away from the kids in Alva, that $5,000 right there, that means mom and dad are going to have to keep their kids on their side the whole time while they're showing, while their older kids are showing. There ain't going to be no kids go out there playing the bouncy houses. I know I've had a couple parents throughout town already that ask me about the bounce houses because their kids are looking forward to that with no help and with minimal time to get donations. There may not be any bounce houses. I mean, there might be a way that we can do it, but I don't want to take away from, and I would, speaking for the board, I don't think we want to take away from the kids either.
Basically, you don't want to make the effort to maybe start like a secondhand store or something where you'd have a self-sustaining deal, because you know you're going to be looking at less funds probably as time goes on.
And what do you mean by a secondhand store? What do you mean by a secondhand store?
Well, people donate their clothing and then people come in and buy it, and that's what they do up there.
Doesn't
Well
Mr.
run,
Chafee
it's all
have one?
volunteers. Pardon me?
Doesn't Mr. Chafee have one, like right over here across the street? Or
Yeah, that's more just, what you want to call it.
yeah, I was just curious.
This is, they size everything and everything's organized, so you go in there just like you're going into a store. You can buy somebody's mixer, or you can buy some, that's presented like a store, but it helps people that have low income, those kind of things. But, for Kiowa to do that.
How are we going to man that though when we all have 8 to 5 jobs?
Volunteers. You got people that's interested in the fair. We got people that's interested in sports, and they get behind this or that, and I'm just, thinking of other avenues. We're thinking of other avenues how to raise more money in our tax revenue. We've gone from feast to famine, basically,
Well,
we don't have an oil boom anymore.
We thank you guys for your time and listen to our thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Next item on the agenda is the Ride for Hatfield Park 2018.
Good evening. My name is Bonnie Sitters. I'm a member of the Alva Friends Play Foundation. Our organization is trying to do all the work down at Hatfield Park, putting in new toys and stuff, and this is our annual fundraiser. Does anyone have any questions questions about the event or the budget?
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're wanting to put in the park? And this is for, it's ADA compliant?
Yes, some of the toys that they have, and I've got a couple of pictures I can pass around here. Pull those out. One of them is what they call a rockin' raft, which the way we've got it designed right now, it will come off of a platform on the existing sidewalk, and a wheelchair actually wheels onto it and they can lock their wheels, and then the whole thing moves, and then regular kids can play on it as well. And that's one of them. We've got some other toys that are handicap accessible that may need some assistance, but they should be able to play on it. And then we're going to put in the pour-in-place rubber surfacing over the whole thing, so the wheelchairs is all compliant and they can move around freely. We'll have the swing sets and stuff that will have ADA seats and everything. So, but the fundraiser itself, we're trying to make this bigger and bigger, and now I've heard that there is one going on at the same time as the car show. I think Northwest Family Services has decided to do one. We're hoping to make this our annual fundraiser. I mean, we've done it. We did it last year. It got rained out. I mean, we still had about 15 riders, even though it was all rain. And then we did it in 15 as well and had about 11 because it was raining. But we've tried October, we've tried June, and this year we're trying September. So we're trying to find our time frame of when we can hopefully have good weather. But right now we've got interest from up in Clearwater. We've got people from Wichita looking into it. I've had a couple of comments and stuff on our event page. We've got Enid and Cherokee in that area looking at it. So we've got riders from all over. We are joined up with the Masons on this, and so hopefully we can get some of their group from Enid, that is a riding chapter, to come over with us. And then essentially we want to bring more in. I mean, we're hoping for 20 to 30 riders. I can't say that they're going to be far enough away to stay in the hotels. There's no guarantee of that. I can promise they will all fuel up before they leave, because we will go stops that some of them will push the limit on their gas tanks. So, but then they'll have food. One of the route options we have looked at, we haven't finalized the route yet, was to actually do a figure 8 and bring them back through Alva for lunch, so that they would eat at the local businesses and stuff. We haven't decided on whether that will be feasible without having to backtrack on the highways and stuff, because I guess the draw of a poker run, or we're actually doing it as a fun run so that we can join with the Masons on it, is the roads, the countryside, seeing the sights. When we do ours, we set it up as a fun run. They play games. I mean, last year we had them do Yahtzee, and they shot darts at a stop, and it's all to gain points. But we always try to do our stops at parks or something of that nature, wherever they're stopping. We're looking at Jet, having them stop at the Jet. I've talked to Salt Plains to have them stop there at the Spillway, just to promote the parks so that we can promote ours in addition to that, so that they can see the improvements we're trying to make and everything else. One of the benefits of the continued effort to put new toys in and putting the ADA toys in is we will be one of the only ones in the area that is ADA compliant. And we'll have accessible toys for people that are in wheelchairs that can't necessarily move out of them to go into a regular swing set or something of that nature.
So your participants actually pay an entry fee, is that true?
Yes, there is a pre-registration fee of $10 per driver, and then $5 if they have a passenger. And then the day of, they will pay a $20 driver fee and a $10 passenger fee. They will get free event t-shirts. We've ordered those already. They've got the right for Half Hill Park on the front, and then the list of all the sponsors on the back. So they will get the t-shirt, which ran us about $5 a piece to order them, but all of our sponsors will get the t-shirts so that they can hand them out to their employees. But that way, the t-shirts themselves will spread to wherever the riders are from.
was the first year that you had asked for?
No, we actually received funding in 2015 as well.
Okay. Did you do anything with that funding, or with, I'm sorry, not with the funding, but like your idea with Hatfield Park?
Yeah.
With the equipment, or?
One of the reasons we come to you guys, for one, is to help us, because we are bringing in people from out of town and stuff and kind of promoting our park and our city and that stuff. But one of the reasons too is if we can get the funding donated to us, everything that we raise, sponsorships, donations, entry fees, we have silent auctions, everything that we raise on that goes back into the park. All of our members are volunteers. There's actually only 4 of us. There's only been 4 of us since we started in 2011. But then we've had the Masons come in and help build. We've had some members of the Rotary Club have come in and helped us do a build. And Alva Concrete has donated a lot of the concrete work and stuff like that.
Park does look much better than it used to.
Oh, yes, I agree.
It definitely looks a lot better.
I can't tell you how excited I was when I found out. We were gone the first year that they did it, but when they couldn't do the fireworks at the Northwestern Field anymore and they had to bring it back down to the park, I was so happy about that. I was actually really happy that we'd gotten as much done as we had so that it was there, but happy that it was being used again. Because I know I've had people tell me since we started this that they used to have the Easter egg hunts down there, they used to have the fireworks down there, and it's everything. And it's nice to see that area getting used again. Because one of the things that was always the problem is as the toys would fall apart, they would get pulled, but nothing would come back in to replace it.
So would you anticipate that possibly what percent of the riders will be from the immediate area, and what percent of them would maybe come from, say, like you say, Enid, Kiowa, maybe?
I know, sorry. I know that we'll have probably 10 to 15 local riders. If the weather's good and stuff and they're not working, obviously. My husband rides, so he'll be one of our follow guys. He always rides last out just to make sure that there's no breakdowns or anything along the way. We always have people, we've had people from the Capron and Burlington and that area come through. We had some from Woodward last year, and that even rode in the rain because they made it all the way over here. I would say probably about 40% local, 60% from out of town. Just depending on the number we get.
So how do you get the out-of-town people to, I mean, how do they find out about it?
Right now, we've done a Facebook event on our Alva Friends of Play Foundation page, and we've joined in with the Masons page and the Hatfield Park page on that, and then we promoted it. So I've actually selected areas. When I did the promotion, I did Wichita, I did Dodge City, I did Enid, I did Amarillo, I did Woodward. I just kind of got a whole cluster. I even hit Oklahoma City, and then we pay for that advertising, and it promotes the event so much a day. And on people's sites that are, I could put a focus group of, I believe it was 20 to 65, and had motorcycle interests and things like that, just to keep it kind of narrowed down to an extent as to people that would be interested in it and get more out of the advertising funds. We do put it in the newsgram. Alva State sponsors it one time for us, and then we will put it in there again, our event flyer, full page ad. And so it'll run twice. Anyone that we have invited, we've had 15 to 20 shares, so all of their friends see it on Facebook, and so we try to push it as much as possible that way. And otherwise, it's word of mouth, it's friends, it's family. We do have, Carl and Carol Parsons used to run a poker run every year. And they have stopped doing theirs, so they're actually helping us with ours now. So a lot of their group that would come through, which they usually had 30 to 40 riders, will hopefully come to ours because they'll promote it to them as well. So. And I know they had people coming in from Kingfisher and Oklahoma City and everything for theirs. So.
If you get one really rolling, it will become a big deal.
It would be really neat to get I don't know.
I actually, in 2015, I actually thought about talking to Covington over there in
Yeah,
Woodward and seeing if we could get him to bring a bike over.
Exactly.
But at that point, we didn't have the funding, and we didn't ask for much that year from you guys. It was just enough to basically do the bare minimum to see what kind of interest we could get for it. But if we could do something like that, that would be neat. So,
You know, like the car show brings those
Right.
people, I don't know who they are, but my husband does.
oh, mine too. Trust me, I hear it every night. He DVRs it.
Yeah. Velocity, all day.
I'm gonna
Okay.
follow your math real well on your revenue side of your presentation here.
Okay.
Your sponsorships is $2,070,
Mhm.
and that's coming from T-shirts or? what?
Well, the sponsorships, yeah, we've had different sponsors. We've gone around and gotten donations. So we have different levels. We have $100, which is a silver, $200 is gold, and $300 is platinum. We had 4 platinum donors this year, and we always include Alva State in that because they do pay for that that full page ad, which is about $350. So we always give them the benefit of the platinum status. And then we've had a gold sponsor and then quite a few, I believe it was 6 or 7 silver sponsors that have donated $100. So all of those businesses will be on the t-shirts. And then the platinum sponsors, actually each stop has its own banner, and there will be one platinum sponsor on each banner. So when we set up at Salt Plains, if that's where we end up setting a stop, that stop number 2 would maybe have a Alva State Bank logo on it or something like that, promoting the businesses.
So basically, you're hoping to come up with how many dollars to support your project and or net dollars? Because you're trying to raise money for the
Right.
department.
If you guys award us the funding that we're asking for, everything on the revenue side will go towards the park. Anything we make will go towards the park.
So the 3,000 will go to that.
Right. And then obviously we work throughout the rest of the year we get donations periodically from different local people. We are planning to go to the Share Trust later this year or early next spring to do a large amount of work on that, mostly the ADA stuff and getting that larger area done. This event, being an annual event, is what we hopefully, if we can maintain it and make it an annual event, once we get everything done as to the toys down in Hatfield Park, we will continue to do this event to keep a maintenance fund. Because the way we've always done it is everything we raise, we keep 5% back in a savings account as a maintenance fund. So they had one of the spring riders, the little horse spring rider seat done and broke. We have ordered the part for it, and we will give it to the park manager. That way it all runs through us. The city doesn't have to mess with it. It's not coming out of the city funds. We are trying to help maintain the park as well.
But the way you got it outlined, it appears that you've taken that off of your income, the $2,960 that you're asking us to give you. You know, basically, I would think you would include that in there, and then you'd have 5,000, and we take out the expenses, then you'd end up with not $110, but you'd end up with whatever you're talking about, the $3,070.
I see what you're saying. I guess I don't know, maybe I misunderstood. Should I have included your funding in the revenue? Is that what you're?
Yeah, because you're asking us above and
You did,
beyond
yes.
for what this 3,000 is. Your revenue is 3,000,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're turning around and taking away what we're giving you for these expenses.
Well, they're showing their expenses as the exact amount of what we're giving them.
understand that.
Right, yeah, they should have made their revenue larger by $2,970.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what was misleading to me.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I have a question that really doesn't have to do with this application, but
Okay.
is Budrose Park in the radar screen for this group ever?
It has always been there. I mean, we've never left it out. This Hatfield Park has taken kind of taken over a lot of the stuff.
Right, you kind of gotta get one done.
Right, that's our plan, is to get everything we want in Hatfield, barring bathrooms, benches, all that stuff. We're getting the toys done in Hatfield, and then eventually moving to Bud Rose, and that has always been our plan. But if we go to the Share Trust this year, which is our intention, we are actually going to ask for assistance with everything for Hatfield and get it as completely done on the toys. But one of their things too, I know with the Share Trust, we've always been told is we've got to show an effort. So that's why we keep doing our fundraising, we keep getting the donations and stuff like that. We need to show an effort that we have done something to raise the money.
I agree with that for this committee as well.
I move we approve the $2,960.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Juanita,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Terry,
Aye.
Charles. Oh, Rosie.
Yes, the end vote. I'm the end vote, since I'm the swing
Sorry.
vote. That's why I don't make motions or anything, I'm along for the end ride.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do believe the park is a tourism thing.
I do too.
People come from out of town.
Especially ADA compliant, I think that's huge
They-
for people that have from out of
When
town,
people
they
come in
notice
here
that.
for anything else, that's something
Yes.
else they can do. And,
Yes.
their kids can
Yeah, when they
enjoy
come
it.
from
Yes.
out of town,
I
they
agree.
go
Not a
They're having-
voluntary deal. This thing out here is a one-shot deal,
family
It's-
thing
and
or
it's
something,
community.
they're going
It's
to the
for
park.
in town,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree.
People love Hatfield Park. It's getting better and better.
And
Like
for
it
the
used
4th
to
of
be.
July celebration, it plays like.
Oh, I mean, you see families down there all the time, you can drive down there about any time, there could be somebody in that park playing.
People walking. Yeah.
Any other remarks or anything on tourism? Quick update on the arena?
It's kind of waiting on, the last consideration was, as you probably read in the paper, looking at solar power to support it. And the feasibility of it, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it so we can, again, eliminate a bunch of expenses in the future. And I guess you sell, if you can produce extra, when you're not using it, it sells back to OG&E. So that's the most recent thing.
I'd like to see the fair board come back sometime with something that brings people from
That's
far
what
out of
I-
town.
Yeah, not horrible, but it's just,
I like fairs, but
I
I
do
guess
too.
I go to the local fair, but I'm not going, I'm not going to go to Alfalfa County, I'm in my part of the county,
Unless there's something
Something special there,
something special
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
That's the deal, you have to have something special going on. I mean, people go to the state fair because there's something special going on.
Oh, yeah. But county fairs are a little bit, for that kind of money, spending that kind of money for.
Yeah, but if they had Southwest Fest was hooked up with the fair, that probably would have been a better deal for both parties. If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.